Tonight, I borrow words of wisdom from the famous writer Jess Scott. People are sheep. TV is the shepherd. This basically translates to media looking after you, your needs, and merging responsibilities, because that is our job. Earlier this week, on Wednesday, my colleague Sami Adika was in Mlolongo capturing live footage of what was happening with regards to the protests. Despite proper identification as a journalist, he was harassed by police officers and bundled into the famous Land Rover. Furthermore, he was forced to delete footage he had been recording. At the precincts of court, security personnel were seen on TV harassing and pushing journalists out of the Milimani law courts to prevent them from covering Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino's case. Again, despite proper identification, the police continued with their tumultuous actions. Over the recent demonstrations, we have seen journalists arrested and beaten for doing their jobs. TV, radio, and newspapers are a light to democracy, lest we fall into darkness and fall into anarchy. It is our obligation to do the job which we so much love, and we call on institutions like the police to let us do it. Just as much as we respect that which they so much do, the police officers, let them not forget that media is an institution governed by the Constitution, Article 34 to be precise. Hello and good evening. Welcome to EBN Weekend Edition. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Here are the top stories making headlines tonight.
Can you believe it? Whoa!
Sorrows in Bondo, Siaya County, as family mourns the death of their 26-year-old son, shot dead on Thursday during protests.
A state-sanctioned genocide is underway in Luoland.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition accused the government of tribal and political profiling of the Luo Nyanza region. Your feedback is highly welcomed. Our SMS line is 23993. Watch this bulletin live on Facebook and on YouTube on EBN TV. EBN Weekend Edition begins right now. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition has issued a statement condemning what they say is ethnic profiling of the Luo community following the Azimio demonstrations that ended Friday. The opposition now accused the government of using security officers to terrorize and intimidate residents of the Nyanza region, contrary to the mandate of officers as stated in the Constitution, whose role is to protect the lives of every Kenyan. Azimio have announced fresh round of protests on Wednesday next week. Belinda Williams reports.
Following the end of the opposition protest, Azimio la Umoja leadership has accused the government of conducting a state-sanctioned genocide in Luoland, particularly in Kisumu, Migori and Homa Bay, and parts of Nairobi, including Kibra and Mathare.
We meet here under very sad and traumatizing circumstances. A state-sanctioned genocide is underway in Luoland.
Azimio stating that persons involved in the dehumanizing acts are either police officers or goons who have been trained and well equipped.
Kisumu, people are being pulled out of their houses and shot or crowbarred to death by police officers. In Migori and parts of Homa Bay, police are going into villages away from towns and shooting or crowbarring people to death.
According to the statement delivered by former governor of Murang'a Mwangi wa Iria, there is a deliberate plan to attack residents from the above-mentioned areas due to their political inclinations and for participating in the demos called by the opposition.
There is stigmatization and polarization accompanied by propaganda that the community is behind the nationwide protests. There is preparation, with perpetrators knowing when to attack, which area, and they are using what appears to be the adopted slogan of dealing with Luo once and for all.
The opposition also claims the brutality acts are being seen in Mathare and Kibra in Nairobi, Nakuru and Mlolongo. The leaders now calling on the Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome and Interior CS Professor Kithure Kindiki to withdraw police from residential homes.
Decision by police command to force access to homes is sharply and unnecessarily escalating tensions and costing lives. Inspector General of Police Mr. Japhet Koome and CS Interior Professor Kithure Kindiki must immediately withdraw police officers from people's homes and residential areas, especially now that there are no demonstrations.
The Azimio leaders also claim that vehicles with foreign number plates from Tanzania and South Sudan are being used to trail, arrest and shoot people. The leaders also condemn the move by police to chase away media from covering Embakasi East Babu Owino's court case.
In the 3-day demonstrations that ended last Friday, that was yesterday, South Sudan and Tanzania number plates were visibly deployed. This creates unnecessary tension and conflict between our country and these federal countries and our people against the people of Tanzania and Southern Sudan.
On Friday evening, the former head of state Uhuru Kenyatta accused the government of intimidating his family, led by his mother Mama Ngina Kenyatta and son Jomo Kenyatta. Azimio now accused the government of grave provocation of the Kenyatta's family.
All acts of grave provocation, not only to Uhuru Kenyatta and his family, but also to all right-thinking Kenyans.
These are basic rights, and you cannot negotiate on people's basic rights. Basic rights are basic human rights.
Reporting for EBN TV, I'm Belinda William.
Yes.
The Kenya National Dialogue Forum is now warning that the ongoing demonstrations by the opposition has led to the resurgence of organized criminal groups. This came as stakeholders drawn from various parts of the country noted that the nation was headed for anarchy should the current impasse remain unresolved. The group is now calling on a national dialogue between the two camps to end the current political stalemate.
Now call upon His Excellency President William Ruto and Right Honorable Raila Odinga to embrace dialogue and end the grandstanding that is pushing the country deeper into a crisis. At the outset, the following will comprise the agenda of the dialogue process: constitutional and legal reforms, land reforms, addressing poverty, inequality, and regional imbalances, addressing unemployment, particularly among the youth, addressing transparency, accountability, and countering impunity, enabling constitutional commissions and independent agencies to deliver their mandate.
Call for an immediate, and I repeat, immediate cessation of hostilities and subsequent dialogue. As peace actors, we are cognizant that only dialogue involving political leaders and citizens is the most promising path to solving the current crisis.
Manufacturers will lose approximately 2.86 billion shillings daily if protests continue in the coming weeks. This is according to the Kenya Association of Manufacturers Board Chair Rajan Shah, who says the protests have dealt a huge blow to the manufacturing sector, urging the government to resolve the stalemate. This comes as reports indicate that Kenya is losing investors to neighboring Tanzania.
Have dealt a significant blow to the manufacturing sector. We share the pain of most of our members who have reported that numerous businesses have experienced disruptions, hindering their day-to-day operations. This has led to severe financial losses. The country stands to lose up to 2.86 billion shillings daily if the protests continue to disrupt businesses as we have witnessed in the last 2 weeks. It directly impacts the availability of essential products in the market, leading to potential shortages and price volatility. This will not help alleviate the pain of the high cost of living and will instead increase it further.
Headlines is tires burning and people running up and down. Any investor who's coming by will start thinking twice. So it is a competitive environment as well.
Whilst Kenya still remains a preferred destination, we are also opening up the region. And for sure, there will also be investments which will go into our neighboring countries as well, based on the comparative advantage of what are the resources available.
Elsewhere, the family of a 26-year-old protester who was shot dead by the police during the opposition-led anti-government demonstrations in Bondo Town, Siaya County on Thursday, is now crying for justice. David Otieno was among the hundreds who were protesting to compel the government to lower the high cost of living. Otieno is reported to have been shot on the head and killed instantly. The family is now demanding for justice, stating that the police used excess force. Yet, like any other Kenyan, he was exercising his right. The family is also blaming the police for not disclosing where they took the body of their kin after the brutal murder.
And I'm very saddened to hear the death of David Otieno from Bondo, where they were rioting. What I wanted to condemn is the issue of killing the innocent people, because there was no chaos and there was no destruction. So I failed to understand why the police was killing David. Why was he the one that was being killed and the rest were not? I failed to understand that. So I'm calling upon the necessary organization to come across, do follow up, and the right procedure to be followed, so that the rights of David and the family are followed in a clear manner.
Nimeenda kumuona huyo mtoto wangu. Wewe mimi sikukuwa na nia yoyote ati sijui nichukue kesa ati sijui nifanye nini. Nilikuwa nataka tu niende nimuone huyo mtoto aliuliwa namna gani. Na vile nilienda kumuona, wili wale wananisumbua kidogo, ati mara huku sijui ako wapi. Sasa tulijaribu kumuona lakini hatukumuona.
Now, President William Ruto has criticized the Azimio coalition led by their leader Raila Odinga for a series of protests witnessed across the country against the Finance Act of 2023 and the high cost of living. The president said that Kenyans already voted for the leader they preferred in the last year's elections and asked the resolution or the opposition wing to wait for the 2027 elections. Now, the president spoke about this in Vihiga County after commissioning the Vihiga Last Mile Water Supply Project in Mbale, Sabatia constituency, and Ruto asked the opposition to stop and to push for the end of the Finance Act 2023, stressing that it will help create opportunities for young people. He also criticized the protests, saying that they have disrupted businesses and caused business owners to count losses.
Mwambia hawa watu wawache kupinga finance bill. Mimi nataka nipange ajira ya hawa vijana. Ama namna gani jameni? Tuko pamoja hapa Mbale. Munanielewa? Wauli ile. Tutatembea pamoja. Mimi nataka niwaulize, munataka tupange ajira ya hawa vijana na tupange masomo ya watoto wetu na tupange vile ya kuzalisha chakula, ama munataka tuendelee na maandamano tupiganishe watu kwa Kenya? Nyinyi ni watu wa kupanga maandamano? Mimi nimewaambia hawa watu wa kupanga maandamano wawache mchezo. Nimewaambia wawache mchezo. Kama wanataka maandamano, kwanza warudishe watoto wao wamewapeleka kule bunge ya East Africa, na waweke bibi zao na watoto wao mbele ya maandamano. Wasitumie watoto na familia ya watu wengine kufanya maandamano na watoto wao wako nyumbani. Sisi ni nchi ya demokrasia. Sisi ni nchi ya amani. Kila mmoja wetu hapa anataka nafasi ya kujisimamia, kufanya biashara yake, kuendesha kilimo yake, tufanye mambo ambayo itabadilisha maisha ya watu. Mimi nimewaambia hawa ndugu zangu, wacheni mambo ya maandamano ya vita. Munaharibu mali ya watu, munaharibu biashara ya watu, munapiganisha wananchi. Damu inamwagika katika taifa letu la Kenya yenye haina maana. Hawa wananchi tulienda kwa uchaguzi na hawa wananchi walimaliza uchaguzi. Mulimaliza ama kuna yenye imebaki?
Kenya is keen on strengthening its relations with China to spur economic growth in the country. President William Ruto said the government will work closely with China on infrastructure development, climate change, ICT, education and security. He noted that Kenya was particularly focused on the development of roads under the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. He was speaking on Saturday at State House in Nairobi during a high-level meeting with Wang Yi, the member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and the director of the Office of Central Committee for Foreign Affairs. The president noted that the government plans to upgrade the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and the ports of Mombasa and Lamu.
And welcome to Kenya. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ambassador, how are you? Good morning. Very good. Good morning. Yes, shake hands.
Bishop Isaiah Deye has been appointed as the new leader, bishop or archbishop of the Methodist Church, with the intention of ending the conflicts that have been involving the leadership of the church since 2021. Speaking after being elected, Archbishop Deye used the opportunity to support other religious leaders in denouncing the protests witnessed in the country, which have caused the loss of life and property, calling for unity and peace among political leaders.
God is not willing that any of his children should perish, and that he has no pleasure in the death of a sinner or the wicked. And so he invites every man, every person, every woman, all of us to himself. His, her social status, age, race, or background notwithstanding. In this regard, the Methodist Church in Kenya joins the other religious institutions in condemning the demonstrations which are being witnessed in the nation recently.
The chairperson of the Senate Committee on Education, John Nyutu, has criticized the Ministry of Education for cancelling mock tests for fourth form candidates, saying the decision needs to be reconsidered. Nyutu said that mock tests are important in preparing students for their final exams. Recently, the Ministry of Education cancelled mock tests, saying that it was the reason for increase in cases of unrest in schools. On his part, Mathioya, Member of Parliament Edwin Mugo, called for cooperation between all education stakeholders in the fight against the use of drugs in educational institutions, saying that this is a great threat to future generations. Nyutu and Mugo were speaking during the Education Day in Mathioya constituency.
As a professional teacher, I can say it's basically not a very good thing that we banned them because students used to, to riot because they didn't want to do mocks. And mocks are very important. So when students riot because they are doing a mock, I mean, what are they going to do? And we ban it as educationists. So what are we telling them? They will definitely have to sit the final exam.
My aim is to make sure that at least we are number one in Murang'a County. And I'm going to go to any lengths to make sure that we achieve this number one. Like yesterday I was in Getuge Guards. I gave them 3 million Kenya shillings for home science laboratory. I motivated teachers, I motivated students, and I am going to visit all the boarding schools. Once I finish the boarding schools, I will also visit the day schools to make sure that the education standards for Madhyoya goes back to where they were back in the 1990s and 2000s when J.J. Kamoro was a member of parliament here.
Health workers in Machakos County have called off the strike planned for next week after the county government fulfilled its promise of promotion for 422 health officials who are waiting. The chairman of the union, the KMPDU in the Lower East, Dr. Charles Okumu, on Friday ordered all health workers in various wards to stop the strike after the County Public Service Board issued letters to promote the officers in an event held at Machakos Level 5 Hospital. The doctors had threatened to stop all health services if the county administration failed to give them promotion letters. 422 officials who were approved for promotion last year. Last week, Governor Wafula met with the officials of the union and promised that promotion letters will be processed within a week.
Tumpigie makofi. To assure them and the workers in the entire county that we are very positive about what they are doing for Machakos County. And I want to assure them on behalf of the Public Service Board that we shall do what is supposed to be done for every other worker in the county.
We, the undersigned here, hereby withdraw the strike notice issued on 26 June 2023 following completion of the promotion exercise and receipt of 422 letters of promotion. The exercise has been completed by the Department of Health and the County Public Service Board. All healthcare workers are informed that the strike notice has been withdrawn with immediate effect.
Well, at that point, allow us to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back shortly.
Something Good Worship Experience happening on Sunday 23rd July 2023 from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at RGC Buruburu. Performances by Agi Mogeni, Solomon Kubo, Lawrence Andeni, Pastor Ken the DJ Lebs, David Kasika, among many others. The event will be broadcasted live on EBN TV. Don't miss. Come, let's worship together.
With great love and joy, I especially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
from Nairobi, Kenya. This is EBN TV.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with EBN Weekend Edition. Education stakeholders in Machakos County have urged well-wishers to donate more books to schools to enhance good reading skills amongst school children. Speaking during this year's annual book reading competition event between children and parents at Jewel House School in Syokimau, the event organizers emphasized that the platform increases children confidence and the parents to learn to do it at home. Teachers have also been urged to inculcate reading culture among students as the government has done its side on equipping schools with books that children do not exhaust.
We have a very robust reading program that starts all the way from playgroup, all the way to the junior secondary school. Our learners read every day. The teachers listen to them reading, and also we engage the parents. After the teachers have read with the children take this reading home, where they read again with the parents. And we felt it's important to have such a day so that the parents can come and learn the skills of how we read with the children at school so that they can be helpful at home. The other reason why we organize this day is also because we have a book drive, because we have a very well-stocked library. And to stock our library, we need all the help we can get. So on such a day, every parent donates a book which their child will read, and the other children in that class also will get the opportunity to read.
To us, the reading is very key, and as a parent, I have benefited today in ensuring that I also take it home in terms of advising my kid on how to read. Reading is everything, because wherever you go, whether you are doing mathematics or whether you are doing any other subject, one is expected to understand what they are reading.
Utalii College has set out for stakeholders to help support the efforts of the national government that will enable more intakes and equip the youth fit for the high demands in the job market within and outside the country. Utalii College Governing Council Chairman David Wamatsi has also noted that the annual management development programs that they started a month ago has helped managers to share on their management skills and challenges that has improved services in the industry, bringing more revenue to the country. 318 managers of hospitality were awarded certificates during the institution's graduation ceremony on Friday.
One of our key mandates is training. And in our strategic plan, we have three pillars, which is training, enterprises and partnerships. And one thing you've heard from this team is that the demands for infrastructure is overwhelming. The applications for whatever courses we have, be it refresher courses, be it regular training, be it MDPs like these ones, you find we are always overwhelmed. So as an institution, as the council, we are looking forward to mobilizing resources to ensure that we have adequate capacity in terms of infrastructure and personnel to ensure that we meet the industry demands and requirements. Currently, the government, it's called the physical headroom is tighter, so the government is not able to fund all the institutions adequately. And one of the key mandates of Kenya Council of Kenya Utalii College is resource mobilization.
Programs at Kenya Utalii College in areas that are emerging in the tourism industry. As an institution, we receive a lot of inquiries from all managers and staff within the hospitality and tourism industry. We are unable to take all of them because of constraints, but in the coming years, we hope to expand that to include all regions and make the number to 3,000, as the chair said. We should be launching new programs in the coming year, given the new norm and emerging issues. And it is our hope that the managers that have been trained today will go into the field and impact the industry in a bigger way.
Residents of Riakidhiga in Kabare Ward, Gishugu, are elated as Governor Anne Waiguru opened a medical laboratory at Riakidhiga Dispensary. The dispensary that has been serving over 10,000 residents will now offer more comprehensive medical services, thus saving the residents from the inconvenience of being directed to other facilities such as the Kerugoya Hospital or Kabare Health Center. Such referrals have at times been an impediment to timely diagnosis and treatment. Speaking when officially commissioning the laboratory, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru said that the impact of the facility extends beyond the immediate vicinity of Riakidhiga, as it will also serve residents from neighboring areas such as Itare, Ngungu, Kabare, and part of Baragwi Ward.
This laboratory will benefit more than 10,000 people who are served by Riakidhiga Dispensary, but always had to be referred to other facilities for laboratory services. It will serve the residents of Riakidhiga, Idare, Ngongo, Kabare, and part of Baragwe who have had to travel to Kerugoya Hospital or Kabare Health Center to access laboratory services. Availability of laboratory services is critical in the provision of quality healthcare services, as it enables timely diagnosis and intervention. It will also go a long way in enhancing tests for diseases such as TB, blood sugar, and antenatal profile.
Now, from the world of sports, and I love this, Faith Kipyegon on Friday night broke the world record for the women's mile in the Monaco Diamond League. Kipyegon clocked 4 minutes and 7.64 seconds to break Sifan Hassan's 4-year record of 4 minutes, 12.3 seconds in the women's mile. Kipyegon becomes the first woman to break the 4 minutes 10 record in the mile and has now broken 3 world records just this year alone. Other world records that the athlete has are the 1,500 meter and 5,000 meter races. President William Ruto congratulated her for the victory, saying she has made Kenya proud. Wow, I actually love me some Faith Kipyegon, and she is 1 in a million. She's literally the GOAT of all times, the greatest of all times, after breaking 3 world records in just 2 months. And we are yet to head to the World Athletics in Budapest. So who knows what's in store for her? That is quite some big achievement. But also aside from that, Ferdinand Omanyala as well won the 100-meter race in the Monaco Diamond League with 9.92 seconds. So indeed great work as well to Fadio, even as he also gears up to run in the Budapest races at the World Athletics Championships. Well, that brings us to the end of our broadcast this evening. Thank you for your valuable company, as well as for the feedback that has been coming in. We hope that you're up to date with the latest making headlines from across the country. My name is Cynthia Nanjala.